there's just no way I'm going to gain more weight. It's not happening. I'm never going back.
You haven't seen this, even though you were part of it.
Okay.
But I need for you to listen very carefully to what this man said. Would be how long it would be? 3 weeks ago? 1, 2, yes, 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. Take a look at this. Are you ready? Here we go. Here we go. Listen carefully. You weighed in at 334.4, so you gained 1.2 pounds.
I was disappointed that the number did not go down. Any other time in life, that would set me all the way the wrong direction. And I'm not. I have more resolve than I did when I got on that scale today. Today, I'm allowing myself today to relax, but I'm gonna have 6 straight days of deliberate progress. And we are starting to go in the right direction aggressively moving forward. I'm ready. This week, I'm at least losing 1.5 pounds. That number will be less than 333.
Okay, my man. Well, let me clue you in on something. What you just listened to, that man in the video, you heard him, correct?
I did.
You heard every word that he said. Am I right?
I did.
If I look at the numbers, and the numbers from the time that he said that he made this bold proclamation where he said the number will go down. The number will go down. You heard him. It was very dramatic. That particular episode where you made that claim stuck in my head. And it's stuck in my head for a reason, because it sounded so the level of determination was like nothing I'd seen out of you directed towards weight loss ever in your entire life. Almost 50 years on this earth, I'd never heard anything, and knowing you for over 30 of them. And that week was the week you gained 1.2 pounds. That was your response to that. You say, hey, I gained 1.2 pounds, but I'm not even phased. Like, I know next week it's going down, and we're back. We're back losing weight every week from here on forward. Well, that week that you made that claim that we just watched was followed by a 2.2 pound weight loss. That was how you followed that up. The following week, 2.2 pounds you lost. Incredible. So you lived up to that term. All the braggadocio that you gave us all there, it's going down. Like, nothing's going to stop me now. Nothing's going to get in my way. We're going to start losing weight from this point forward. You went down 2.2 pounds. The following week, which is last week, you went down 3.1 pounds. You even went, I couldn't believe, I was flabbergasted. Like, you went 2.2, and then, is it a fad? Is it a fad? Emotions change. You never know. I mean, this isn't addictive behavior. It can easily slip back into it. Lost more weight than you lost the week before. 2.2 down, 3.1 down, and then this past week, does the streak continue or not? 1.7 pounds down 3 weeks in a row. 2.2, 3.1, 1.7. That man that we just listened to that said it's on, tell me about him. I want to shake his hand. I mean, if I had the capacity to reach through the screen and be able to shake the hand of the man who made it happen, I would do that, because this is pretty incredible, honestly. This is a comeback. This is the comeback that I was hoping for. It was the comeback I know that you're capable of. You have the capacity to do it, but it was all frame of mind. And frame of mind in what we just watched was 100% in the right direction. 100%. 100. Not 99, 100. It was you made that claim, that you made that proclamation that this is the day where things change. The next week we're losing weight and we're going to keep going in that direction. You have 3 weeks in a row. It could always be a fluke if it's 1 week, 2 weeks, you can luck out. 3 weeks, something's happening here, man. And You need to tell me, you need to inform me as to how you're feeling about this and how you feel about what you just watched, because those are your words right before this happened, right before the past 3 weeks. That's what you said. And that's what made an impression on me. And I did not forget that. And I was really interested to see what would transpire in the weeks that follow. And we're 3 weeks in, and it's been nothing short of fantastic.
Thank you for the compliment. Yeah, I don't know how. When I look back at this, I don't even know if I can figure out or place how I got to that point. But it is like undeniable. Like that level of determination is not a fluke. That happened, and it's just like it's carrying over. I mean, like every day, every week is a little different, right? But the determination is there to see that progress every week. I like I'm to the point where that is a prerequisite. It's got to happen. It's got to happen. And yeah, so it's helping me a lot. And I think I've just started to put things together. I've just started to put one thing here, one thing there, add them all together. Find the weaknesses, eliminate the weaknesses one at a time, and put it all together. And again, life happens. There's going to be a moment here or there where I'm more tempted than others to break off the strict path. But yeah, I mean, the determination to hear that from myself is something. Especially towards weight loss. So I had a really good feeling that week, obviously, and I mean it was backed up. It happened. As somebody that is pretty impulsive throughout history, like I could say one thing one day, and then by 6 days later, that could be a completely different story, whether I meant it or not.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like this is sustained. This is like I really feel optimistic that I'm like 1.7 is good. Like I wish it was 2, but I'm not gonna. As long as I'm down a pound a week, I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine. Like I think somehow you helped me cement the significance. Like we can talk about it all day, but like all this experience has really built on itself, and it's more than just words. Like you've shown me the value of not going in the wrong direction. Like how much damage that can do. And I mean, really, it's been mitigated a lot relative to what my history has been. But going in the wrong direction is just not an option. It's just not. Like even staying stable is okay. But going in the wrong direction is just, at this point, that is the new standard. I cannot allow myself to go in the wrong direction. And I want to see, while I'm at it, when conditions are most conducive, I want to see visual progress. I want to see that number in the hundreds column or hundredths column. I want it to change in the right direction every single time. And I know, I mean, it's not necessarily fast, but this is really happening. This is real. This is not like I'm going to just go jump off the wagon and go back to what old habits were. This is like, we're at a different point now. And I don't know, man, I'm just excited. I'm excited. It's a whole new level of just being in control.
Ultimately, you're seeing that you decide what direction you go in each and every week. It just took a period of time to be able to build enough new habits that you felt comfortable with, where you started to see that, yeah, I can execute this plan. I can actually follow through with this on a regular basis. You know, you got sidetracked because of life, and generally speaking, in the past, what would happen during those times is you would pull away and gain lots of weight, gain 40 pounds in a few months, easy. Instead, you know, you went from the 320s to the 330s. You were inching towards the higher 330s, and then you started going down again. So you never got, you gained a little over 10 pounds back. And then you stayed in that range for a few weeks. And then now you've started to come down. But this has never happened before. The entire time throughout this whole process, which is now this is 33 weeks in the beginning, you were losing a couple pounds a week consistently. Then you got into a rough patch, and life threw you off track. You ended up gaining 10 pounds or so back over a couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, and then you maintain that up and down a little bit. And then, so you ended up losing, you ended up gaining for a bit, and then maintaining, and now you're coming down again. So you never got fully off track to the point where you gained back all the weight you lost. You were always in the 330s, not the 350s, because when you started at 354.6, so you never made it back to 354. You were in the 330s, 335.2 was the highest. That when you gained some weight back to 335.2, and now you're down to 327.4, and you are 2.9 pounds away from the lowest that you were in the past 33 weeks. Only 2.9 pounds away. 1 to 2 weeks, it's done. Couple weeks, you're finished. You're making new ground.
Yeah,
that feels good.
Does,
because if you had gained back 30 pounds, if you had gone back to 354, we'd be talking another, losing a couple pounds a week. We're talking 5, 10, 15, 20, plus weeks just to get back to where you were. That is so demoralizing. It sucks the air out of you, because I did the calculations on a prior episode showing you how close you would have been to 300. You would have been near the 300 pound mark, breaking into the 299 had you not gained any weight during this period. And that made an impression on you. It's like, yeah, if I just maintained right now, I'd almost be at 299. Like in the next week or two, I'd be 299. So ultimately that just shows you what ends up happening. You end up gaining weight back. You just make more work for yourself in the long run. And so the fact that you embrace that as a new strategy, I'm going to have times where I'm not going to be as disciplined or strict. That's going to be reality when it comes to this particular part of your life. But doesn't mean that you have to completely fall off the wagon to the point where you start regaining and losing ground. If I maintain a week, and I know it was a rough week, I consider that a victory. You should, and you will consider it a victory. Like, I had a bad week. Normally I would have gained 5 pounds easy, but I didn't gain anything. That's a huge success in a week that's emotionally difficult. So you'll end up now having that as the new strategy for, look, I really don't want to accept any increases any longer. I really don't feel that I need to, because you feel like you're in control enough to be able to make those decisions each and every week. You know what your limitations are. You know the type of plan that you're following and the strategy that you have and how it's paying off week after week, 3 weeks in a row of weight loss. Fill me in on how this week in particular went, because you're now 3 weeks into losing weight again. How are you? Is it essentially the same strategy that you've adopted of the high protein, low carb breakfast and dinner, and then in the middle have some fun, but controlled, so that way you can consistently move towards your goal?
Yeah, that's been consistent. It's almost a little bit on the repetitive side when it comes but I've got to find a way to keep it. I got to find a way to keep it easy for myself, because that's just what I need in the morning. I need it to be simple and fairly quick, and I've got a system in place to make that happen. I happen to like breakfast food anyway, typical stereotypical breakfast food. So, I got myself the air fryer. I make sausage links over the weekend, throw them in the refrigerator, and then I can just, grab 6 or 7 of those, put them on the microwave, and they're ready just like that in the morning for the rest of the week. And then, I got the little waffle iron. It's got like 4 little waffle size things, and I cook eggs in there, man. They come up quick and they're finished. And right there, I have a hearty breakfast that's going to time me over for, 3 hours, 4 hours. That's my breakfast. I have 0 carbs going into the middle of the day. 11:30, 12 o'clock rolls around. And if I'm not firmly entrenched in something that is demanding of all my attention, I'm really going to be hungry. And I need to have something that I'm going to be content with on hand. I've been going to chicken salad, and, thin slices of cheese, and I'll put that on like tortilla chips, but I'm, fairly well counting out my portion, for lunch. And, most of the time I've been having those chocolate covered peanuts, and a healthy portion, to be honest with you, of those in the middle of the day. And, midweek I started thinking to myself, like, this week, I'm like, I might be able to do without that. And yesterday, Thursday, the day before the weigh-in, I did without it. And, like, all these things, it couldn't happen overnight though. It couldn't. Like, you've helped me build the skills over this course of time in order to lean on when I'm making a change now. It's like, it's easier to make the change or to become a little bit more disciplined in one area, because you've already helped me tighten up those muscles, if you want to use an analogy, to lean on. Like, my appetite isn't ridiculously out of control, and I realize what I can do to substitute for that. And I'm more conscious about things, like all these habits that have just, kind of been formed. And then you put it all together, and it's just like, it's almost like you're invincible. Like, I just need to not be a knucklehead. You know what I mean? Like, at this point, it's like the scope of everything, it was like this insurmountable before, and it's just like the walls are closing down in and in and in. And we've gotten it to like a science where I have a little bit of room to play with. I'm not seeing it from the perspective of, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't have this, I can't have that. I've like kind of getting to the point where I'm really figuring out what I can do. And it's like, it doesn't have to be restrictive. A lot of it's the mindset, man. I mean, like, so much of it's mental, but that mental thing, you can't just shut it on and shut it off. Like, I had to literally feel what I'm feeling every step of this 33 weeks it's been, I guess. That's ridiculous, man. It doesn't feel like that. But like, I had to feel everything and go through it and then process with you every single week in order to get to this point. If I was left to my own devices, there's no way that I would take a minute to process anything like we're doing every week. And as a result, like, I wouldn't be challenged to make the changes appropriate to get me to the point where I am now. And then, there's just no way I'm going to gain more weight, dude. Like, that's all I'm going to say. Like, it's not happening. I'm never going back. Like, it's just, so like, I've changed my perspective on, I've got to lose like 100 pounds in 5 minutes. Okay. That's not happening. And I've gotten to the point where that's okay. Like, just don't do yourself damage. Don't go the wrong way, and you're winning. cut every loss, and by loss, I mean gain, cut every loss, and then just grab the wins when you can get them every week. Try to build one win onto another. And if you just don't lose, you win. And I'm done losing, man. I'm done losing it. Like it the whole thing where it's just kind of closing down, like the bad behavior, the out of control stuff is just like it's just naturally going away because I've got so many different directions. If I get pulled in one direction, the other one's keeping me together. I don't know how to describe it other than that. But like again, if you didn't help me get aware of all this stuff, and I would there's no way. Like all that life happening that inevitably is happening to everybody. It's all gonna happen. Whether you want it or not, stuff's gonna happen, right? Like it's coming. There's challenges in life. That's what the whole deal, right? And it's okay. Like accept that and just be prepared for it. And that's where I've gotten, man. Bless you for getting me here, dude. I don't know how to thank you. Like,
well, bless you for walking beside me throughout this entire 33 weeks, because honestly, large number of people who've dealt with this for a lifetime the way that you have and have struggled to lose weight and were at their all-time high at 354.6 trying to learn new habits, begrudgingly so, and just take yourself back to the frame of mind that you were at the very beginning, not knowing what to expect, not knowing where this was going to go. You showed up, I didn't discuss with you what we were going to do or how we we're going to approach this or what kind of diet and if there's exercise involved. You were just literally saying, hey, I'm going to show up and just show me the way. And so you opened yourself up. And I knew full well I had to be very careful, because if I gave you something, if I'm the one that's dictating to you that this is the way it's going to be, you're going to do this and you're going to do that, we wouldn't have made it 33 seconds, much less 33 weeks. So I had to tiptoe in the garden, and ultimately, you were the one who decided to lose weight. You were the one, because the only thing that you committed to was to show up every week and weigh yourself. And you did that. Every week you're here weighing yourself every single week. And if anyone has any competitive spirit whatsoever inside of them or any sense of pride, that scale, it's going to be a competition. Every week when you weigh yourself, you have to deal with reality. What did I do this week? Well, the scale's not going to lie. Scale's going to tell me more or less how things went. Certainly not going to lie over time. So you had to contend with that every week. So when you had the bad weeks, you had to feel it. Step on the scale, it's not looking good. You still showed up. We talked about it. You felt it. What am I going to do next week? And eventually, even though you were going through a rough time with work and with the seizure situation, you had a lot going on, but you got through that rough patch. Several months of some gaining back and maintenance, and then you were trying to situate your life down the right path, and then you're like, all right, now it's time. Like you had that moment, the one we just saw at the very beginning, where you felt it was a turning point. Like I see the weight going up, and you know why you had that turning. One of the big reasons why you had that turning point, in addition to all the work you put in and all the practice each and every week, and all the experimentation and building new habits, because this has lasted so long and you've shown up every week and you've had to face the reality of what the weight was and what you're going to do about it. But also, you just saw the weight going up. You hit that mid 330s, and you started to think about 340s. Like, wait a minute. No, I've accomplished way too much. I mean, I'm still 20 pounds down from where I started. I'm going to squander that? Like, why? Like, this is not that hard. Like, ultimately, you've lost weight so many weeks, and having that many weeks of weight loss behind you, where it was week after week after week of weight loss, a couple pounds, down 1 pound, 2 pounds, 2.5, 2 pounds, down for so many weeks in a row. that built the confidence in you that, yeah, I can do this, because ultimately, if I'm able to do it 1 week, I can do it 2 weeks. If I can do it 2 weeks, I can do it 3 weeks, and I feel good about it. If I feel that it was something that reasonably comfortable to me to do, it wasn't overtaxing me too much, and I really didn't put that much effort to accomplish it. And you said many times during your initial weight loss throughout this process, hey, this is not that difficult. Like, I can see myself doing this. And you were doing this same structure of high protein breakfast, high protein dinner, and in the middle of the day, have some fun. You were basically, that's what you settled in on. That's what you were following when you had a consistent work schedule, and you were burning that couple pounds a week average. And then you went through the rough patch, and now you're back and you're doing the same thing. So you gravitated back to basically the same plan that you were following earlier in this process. That's worked really well for you. And it's working really well for you because you essentially, through experimentation, figured out this is what works best for my personality. Like, it gives me the opportunity to have that middle of the day meal that I can enjoy. And then breakfast and dinner, I don't have a problem because you've come up with ways to be able to satisfy yourself during those times with breakfast food, which you do enjoy. And dinner, you don't have a difficult time controlling as long as you have that middle meal to be able to look forward to every day. And you settled on that, and it's working wonders because it works for your personality and what it is that you want out of a diet. But, being able to come to that particular game plan takes some experimentation, because you have to see, with the idea in mind that I'm trying to keep carbs as low as possible to lose weight as quickly as I can. So I'm not going to go zero carb because I'm not going to give up on everything that I enjoy. So how can I come as close to that as possible while still being able to enjoy myself in some way each day? And you essentially then have that meal in the middle of the day that's going to be the carb meal. And that's the meal that you can look forward to, because you can have all of your carbs in that meal. And then in the first and last meal, that's low carb. That's very pro weight loss, insulin control. But then that middle meal, I can always look forward. Every day I know I have that. Like, I'm not giving that up. I'm not just abandoned that. Now, on a day like you said, the day before the weigh-in, you decided, I don't even need the chocolate covered peanuts in this meal. So something like that, knowing that you don't have to give that up, yet you were in a position where you just decided to give it a try.
Yeah.
That's liberating, because it's not that I can't have this. It's like, I can have it, but I don't really feel like I need it today. Like, I can actually skip it and see what kind of impact it has. Like, you're desensitizing yourself to the need to live the lifestyle you've lived for decades by practicing a different lifestyle and seeing, like, I'm just going to survive. Like, I'm going to get through the day. I'm focusing on other things, other goals that I have. And, that's going to be important, because if you got nothing going on in your life, food's going to be your life.
Yeah.
A food or something else. You're going to have some sort of addiction is going to be your focus if you don't have something going on. So absolutely, if you don't have anything happening, you better get something going, because you need to be focused on something other than the weakness. And if there's just empty space in your day, and I'm talking about from the entire day, you're just going to gravitate towards that. It's going to be very difficult to achieve what you achieved without something happening. In addition to that you can focus your effort on the way that you have been doing.
Yeah, you've highlighted for me that you have to take an active pursuit of other interests that replace that. Like, I've been busy before and gained weight, right? Like, I've been almost addicted to work. Like, I mean, honestly, like, I take pride in work that I do, and I put a lot of hours into work because I enjoy what I do. But there's still, I mean, it's simple as the empty ride home, right? Like, just driving home from work or driving to work. Like, you got to fill in those gaps, and you got to I've had to focus my mind differently and just absorb it into, I'm either resting and recovering from the day, or I am like all the way focused on some way to make my quality of life improve. And it took almost this process and a shakeup with my job, honestly, like all this to make it get to where it is now. Like you have to look for it. You have to find what is going to satisfy you as a substitution for this. This is not meant to be an addiction. It's not. Like, food's a great thing. We should enjoy it, man. There's no shame in it, dude. Like, but I'm looking at it differently. And like, I would have never predicted that I would feel this way. And like you said, it's liberating. I don't like, I mean, I know that I could have showed up and lost a pound if I would have had chocolate covered peanuts yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Like, I probably would have showed up with a 1 pound weight loss, but I didn't need to. And half the reason why I didn't need to is because I could if I wanted to. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that I have to not have them. It's that I choose to not have them. And I've never been there. I've never been there before.
Right.
And I think, I don't even remember that week before when you played that clip. Like, I remember that when you play it, like, I gained a pound, 1.2 pounds before I went on that rant. And I don't even remember.
Yes.
How
1.2 pounds.
I don't know how I made that bold claim at that point, even like a month out from that. I don't even remember how I was so confident after gaining a pound that I was going to destroy it here on forward. I don't even remember how. How did I know that?
I don't know, but we're going to watch it again just to make sure it wasn't a mirage. Pay close attention to the intensity, the level of determination which is applied towards weight loss from you, I might add.
No.
Just listen to this very carefully. You weighed in at 334.4, so you gained 1.2 pounds.
I was disappointed that the number did not go down. Any other time in life, that would set me all the way the wrong direction. And I'm not. I have more resolve than I did when I got on that scale today. Today, I'm allowing myself to relax, but I'm gonna have 6 straight days of deliberate progress. And we are starting to go in the right direction aggressively moving forward. I'm ready. This week, I'm at least losing 1.5 pounds. That number will be less than 333.
Absolutely amazing. That just look at when you watch that, what goes through your mind knowing that you were the one that made that proclamation, and then you've delivered 3 straight weeks of weight loss. You have delivered on your promise. You said, I'm going to lose at least 1.5 pounds. You lost 2.2 that week. Then you lost 3.1. Now you lost 1.7. I mean, I know that when you look, like, you can't even remember that moment in time. Like, you can't even bring yourself back to when you said those words to capture the moment, which is why I wanted to play this for you, because I wanted you to see yourself.
Yeah.
And what it is that you said and what it is that it led to. And I know you're trying to piece together in your brain, like, I did say it, unless he's AIing me here. And he's just putting words in my mouth. But no, that happened. I was there for that. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. And when I heard it and how determined you were, I thought that was a turning point. Like, I really felt like I never heard anything like this come out of your mouth before when it comes towards, I'm going to do this when it comes to weight loss. Like, it's always, we'll see how it goes. In fact, during the past several months where you were having the weight regain and the maintenance, and during that period, there was just, I'll see how it goes. That was basically the way you ended many episodes, where, we'll see how it goes. I'm doing my best not to make it worse. but I can't promise, I can't really focus on weight loss right now. I mean, these were the comments that you were making several episodes in the past where you couldn't commit yourself because you knew you weren't there mentally. You knew you didn't have the commitment at that point in time. It just wasn't there. And you weren't going to lie because you knew you had to come back the week later and the scale was going to tell whether or not the commitment was there. You just knew you didn't have it in you at that point in time. But that video we just saw, that was the turning point 3 weeks ago when you said, all right, I'm done. Like I know what the number is. I'm in the mid 330s. I'm sick of it. Like I'm tired of it. I know I can do better than this. And you did. And you've done it week after week after week. You decided at that point, at that moment in time, like going forward the next week, and you had just gained 1.2 pounds, and you said you were going to lose at least 1.5 the next week, and you lost 2.2. You basically called it. You called your 3-point game-winning shot like ahead of time. Like he said, it's going in, and I'm going to the dressing room. It's over.
Yeah.
And you delivered.
Yeah. I know. I
mean, that's you. That's
that was
you.
Genuine.
That's what you're capable of.
Everything here has been
when
real.
You decide to turn up the heat. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know exactly the combination of what had to happen to get me here, but I mean, that'll be interesting to look back as, we continue to move forward. I'll keep looking back and see how this all played out. But everything, I'm convinced, everything on the path to get here had to happen. It had to go the way it did. It's ups and downs.
It did.
But processing with you every week, and I mean, almost being forced to think about it, just reflect on the week before, look forward to the week after, and just try to fine tune, try to make adjustments based on the results and the outcomes and the burning desire level, right? I mean, like there's times where I'm overwhelmed with other things and this was not the number one priority. And it's moving up my priority list, and it had to be a natural evolution. You couldn't just say, snap your fingers and make it top priority, but it's gotten to the point where it's moving up the list. And once you feel this, like I don't want to let that go. I really don't want to let that go because this is working.
The reason that the programs like Alcoholics Anonymous have been so incredibly helpful to people is because they keep them focused. Like you can't lose sight of the fact that you're an alcoholic and you're trying to turn away from the habit when you have to go to a meeting every week and you have to talk about it. And you look yourself in the mirror every week and you have to talk about how your week went and talk about how things are going for you. And you see other people who are in the same type of situation and you get guidance and you receive support. And you need that because if you're dealing with an addiction and you decide, I'm going to take this all on myself and I'm not going to have support from anyone. And I'm just going to do this in isolation. What ends up happening? You lose sight of what it is you're trying to achieve because when it's just you, it's very easy to completely set it aside and just go back to the old habits that you've been following for many, many years. And you have to have something outside of yourself to share that with on a weekly basis in order to be able to stay focused and motivated and stay within reality, because it's the fantasy world that is addiction will suck you back in if every week you don't have to reset yourself in some way and deal with reality the way that it is. That's what we do here. We've been doing it for 33 weeks. Every week is showing up, dealing with the reality of that scale and what it is that caused that scale to go up or down the past week. That's what's gotten you to this point, is facing that every single week. You'd never done that in the past. In the past, it was always, give me some advice. I'm going to go implement it myself. And then, don't get anywhere. Temporary results, very quick yo-yo, and it's over. And then it's higher than it ever was before. So that constant I'm going to go and do it myself, and I'm going to try to take care of it as quickly as I can. Being impatient and trying to isolate yourself with that goal in mind. There are people who can pull it off, but they're not the ones who are addicted. I believe having that accountability is crucial for anybody that's dealing with anything. When it comes to weight loss, if they're trying to lose weight, you're trying to stop any sort of addiction, no matter what it is. You need a support group. You need that connection, and you need it on a weekly basis. It can't be monthly. It can't be yearly. It's got to be weekly. It's got to be consistent. It's got to be something that you do and work into your routine every single week. So that way you have the ability to stay present and not slip back into the fantasy world that addiction brings, because that's all that it is. It's just a fantasy that provides you with nothing, but short term, very short term, momentary pleasure. And there's long-term consequences to that. And because we meet every week, that's why this is finally happening for you. And because you have decided to show up every week and you have decided to take part in this, because you got to be here. In order for this to happen, you have to show up. You have to weigh yourself. You have to show the weight, good, bad, or indifferent. You have to be honest with what it is that happened, and you have been for all this time. And it's over 8 months of consistency on your part and showing up, and you're down 27.2 pounds. You're back on the weight loss train once again. You're 2.9 pounds away from your all-time low over the past 8 months. Once you break that mark, I think that level of determination, I didn't think it'd be possible to see anything more with the level of passion that you delivered on that video that we watched. But I think once you break that record and you're at a new all-time low for the past 8-9 months, watch out, man. I think you're gonna get a level of intensity and motivation that even is able to exceed that, just because when you're covering new territory, it feels totally different. And you're not stopping anytime soon, are you?
No, I've reached a different level. The things that used to be just horrible habits are gone. I still have moments of weakness. I'm definitely not perfect, but it's just different. I don't need what I used to think I needed, and I realize it now.
So you have done an incredible job, and I want everybody to know, with over the past 8 months, and showing up and being honest and working hard and trying to make the biggest change in your life that most people will ever take on, to break a habit like this, something that you've relied on, you've leaned on for years and years, decades of your life since you were a kid. You're almost 50, and you've been doing this the entire time. You've been leaning on food for comfort. And here you are trying to break that habit. And 8 months in, you're down 27.2 pounds, and you're going to keep going.